Good morning, brothers and sisters. Did you enjoy the loving touch from the Lord when you draw near Him? Have you experienced His speaks to you, or His comforts to your heart, or His silent presence with you? I dare not to say we have the tips, but our hearts to stay completely quiet before Him, we can surely experience to be heart to heart with the Lord. This is the promise of God. When we draw near to God, and He will draw near to you, we will experience His richness. Brothers and sisters, I hope every one of us can experience His personal love towards us deeply this year. Today, I would like to share the value of man from a different point of view. Our value is very high. You see, the Lord personally became a man. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 8 said, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. How precious. Jesus is the name of man. He is the same forever. He is named Jesus forever, for He never gives up to be a man. He is God, but He is man as well. On the other hand, the Lord said towards the end of Revelation, He said, I, Jesus, has sent my angel. He especially mentioned His name, Jesus. He mentioned He is the root and the descendant of David. Obviously, He is a man. He is the bright morning star, and He will return. As we all know, the Lord Jesus came as a high priest. He is able to sympathize with our weaknesses, for He became a man. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 20 said, Jesus, having became a high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. Can you see? He is the high priest forever. It also mentioned in Psalms 110, God make Him to be our priest forever. He has sworn and will not change His mind. In the book of Hebrews chapter 7, verse 20 to 28, has quoted again Psalms 110. It mentioned He is our priest forever. This high priest has offered Himself forever. He has redeemed us completely. The sin offering has accomplished. How precious! Our high priest hasn't changed. He is our high priest forever. He is the guarantor for our happiness forever. So you see how high is the value of man. Even the Son of Man chose to be a man for us forever. Brothers and sisters, I hope every one of us can see our own value. We are really valuable. We should give thanks for having a valuable identity as a man. Brothers and sisters, the verses I'd like to share with you is in the book of Job, chapter 42, verse 10. And it said, And the Lord restored the fortunes of Job, when he had prayed for his friends, and the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before. I believe you all heard of the story of Job. God praised Job was blameless and upright, one who feared God and turned away from evil. But Satan didn't agree with the comment of God. Satan thought Job feared God because God has blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions has increased in the land. If God took away all his blessings and protection, Job will surely curse God to his face. Then God allowed Satan to attack Job and take away all his possession overnight. His 7 sons and 2 daughters, they all died of accident. Job has encountered such a crisis, but he didn't react as per what Satan has said, that he would depart from God. Instead, Job said, Blessed be the name of the Lord. And in chapter 2, things didn't succeed as Satan's plan. He then attacked Job's health. Satan struck Job with loathsome sores from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. Even his wife urged Job to turn away from God and die. But Job didn't forsake God. He still trusts in God. According to the Bible, Job didn't commit sin by his mouth. Job has 3 friends. They visit Job and comfort him as they heard of his situation. They have stayed with Job for 7 days and nights. Job was full of faith in God, started to curse himself since chapter 3. Job's friends tried to comfort him initially, but it didn't do any good. God remained silent from chapter 3 to chapter 37. God answered Job out of the whirlwind in chapter 38. God didn't answer why Job suffered from such a hardship, but God gave the answer, which is exactly what Job's need. In chapter 42, verse 5, Job has changed his attitude. He said, "I have heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eye sees you." Job finally got the answer from God. He was unable to answer God's questions. Then he knew how little he was. God is the greatest, and he is infinite. His wisdom is unmeasurable. Job trusts all what he had gone through has God's purpose. Job's situation hasn't changed, and in verse 6 mentioned, Job prayed for his friends. Then there was a reversal of Job's adversities, for his 3 friends have great needs in them. Now Job knew God, and he prayed for his friends. He turned back from hardship and received twice as much as he had before. Brothers and sisters, we also encounter difficulties and make us confused. How we can deal with it? I'd like to share with you the solution for a story in Job. There was a billionaire who can use money to buy anything, but he found himself became increasingly unhappy, for he might suffer from depression. He was seeking the famous doctor, but he felt empty inside him and unhappy. He felt tortured day and night. One day, he heard there was a famous doctor at the seashore. This billionaire decided to go and see that doctor and seek for help. The doctor saw him and said to him, "I have a very good formula and guaranteed it works." The doctor gave him 3 bags of medications and said to him, "There are 3 bags of medications here. Take a bag per day, but remember, you must eat it on the beach. Otherwise, it doesn't work." The rich man was doubtful of what the doctor said. As soon as he left, he went straight to the beach and opened the first bag of medication. There was nothing inside, but few words were written in the bag. It said, "To sleep for 30 minutes on the beach." This rich man felt it was so ridiculous, but he felt helpless and followed the doctor's instruction. He then slept on the beach for 30 minutes. He thought of how unhappy he was, but he started to hear the song of the waves and the salty smell of the water. He then saw the blue sky and the clouds. The shape changed as the wind blew. He then fell asleep until sunset. He realized he slept more than 30 minutes. The next day, this rich man came to the beach and opened the second bag of medication. The second bag again got nothing, but few words were written as, "To look for 5 stranded fishes and release them back to the sea." The rich man did accordingly and didn't know why. Then he saw the little fish struggle at the shore. He then threw them back to the sea, and they swam happily ever. He found himself to be at ease and turned into the happy mood. He picked up one fish and threw it back, and then he picked up another fish and threw it back, and so on. Then, on the third day, he opened the third bag of medication. It was written, "Please write down your worries on the beach." The rich man picked up a stick and wrote on the sand. He wrote, "His relationship with his wife has deteriorated. My children were not willing to listen to me. The business of last month wasn't doing well." He kept road and road. His back was getting tired, and when he straightened his back, he saw a series of worries suddenly erased by the wave. Then the water withdrew. All his worries had disappeared. The rich man realized all the worries could wipe away in just a moment. Strange enough, the rich man has turned into good mood. He felt so calm, and his unhappiness has gone. When he looked back, those medications has helped him, and he understood what he needs to solve his troubles and unhappiness. The first dose was to rest. The second dose was to give. And the third was the time. We need these three things as well. When we have the problem, what we need is to come before God, to really rest in Him without struggle. The second dose is to give. We suffer because we focus on our difficulties. But if we try to look at other people's needs and to give yourself to fulfill their needs, we're happier when we're willing to give. The third dose is the time to endure to the end with faith. Problem can be solved in the end. The time of endurance is essential in our growth. Brothers and sisters, the new year has started again. I hope you and I can make perfect when learning these three things. May the Lord bless us.